Welcome to another episode of the Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council Media Briefing. This week, we hear from Secretary of Tourism and Transportation, Tracy Davidson Celestine, Secretary of Community Development and Culture, Denise Soyafat Angus, and Chief Secretary Orville London. With regards to the present carnival season, Secretary Soyafat Angus highlighted some of the island's activities which patrons can enjoy.
The theme this year for the Tobago Carnival is Let's Dance, Let's Play, Let's Dingolay. And so on Tuesday, we will also have a special event where over the past number of years, the Department of Culture would have put on a Carnival Educative Arts Festival. However, that would have been a week long of activities. This year, we have chosen to go to a one-day activity, a packed activity with I'm calling it the Carnival Exposition and Carnival Arts Showcase with a theme Celebrating Theatre, where we are honoring and commemorating the life of persons, monuments, and events. We expect to have participation from the theatre arts students throughout the secondary schools, where they will also be putting on displays and giving detailed information on the history of Carnival. And that, we must not forget, that is on February the 5th. In addition, we expect to have also all of the 4 schools participating, Mason Hall Secondary, the Goodwood High School, the Speyside High School, Scarborough Secondary, and the only primary school that will be participated is the Scarborough Roman Catholic School. There is the activities on the February 6th and 7th would include the traditional characters who would be going through the town, with also special performances in front of the Department of Culture, where various groups, community groups that were trained in actually traditional mass, where they would have a chance to showcase what they have learned. And we're expecting the Mason Hall, Village Council, the Bell Garden, Pembroke, Plymouth, Palatuvia Village Councils, Charlotteville, Tambu Bamboo, the Bell Garden, Tambu Bamboo, and the Lansome, Tambu Bamboo, that they will all be participating in these events. Not to forget the Windward area, the very exciting Windward Afro Queen and Calypso show. Their theme this year would be Ebony, Beauty from Within. And they've already had 8 young ladies who would be participating from Charlotteville to Mariah. And the theme was actually chosen because of its allusion to beauty and the symbol of enrichment of the Miss Windward, Afro Queen, and Calypso Monarch. Of course, we're going to have the usual events throughout the next couple of weeks with the Windward Junior Extravaganza, the Juve, which has become quite a spectacular event in the Windward, and the parade of bands that would normally be on the Monday and Tuesday at the regular judging points. We also have a number of Kiddies Carnival activities that would be occurring from the Saturday the 2nd, the 6th of February out at Sid Gray, and the Junior Extravaganza at Dwight York Stadium on the 7th, and Saturday, February 9th, the Kiddies Carnival in Scarborough, and on the 10th, following in Roxborough.
Secretary Soyafat Angus commended Tobago's Calypsonians who reached the finals of the local and national Calypso competitions, as well as the steel bands which qualified for the Panorama finals.
In the division, we are very heartened by the level of participation and even the quality of the performances so far of those who have been involved. For instance, we have Buccaneers, in the pan category, they actually topped in the preliminary events. And they continue to be consistent, from coming from last year into this year. We also have to congratulate Cats and Jammers, Steel Explosion, and RBTT Redemption Songsetters, and really commend all of those who would have participated up to this time. Special congratulations would go out to Calypsonian Dylan Thomas and all others who would have qualified to be in the finals of the Tobago Calypso Monarch. And we're even told that we have about 7 persons who actually qualified to be on national Calypso semifinals at Skinner Park this Saturday. So we really ought to be very proud of all of our Tobagonians who have participated in that way thus far.
Having met with the Tourism Minister, Secretary of Tourism and Transportation, Tracy Davidson Celestine, said they addressed matters relating to the upgrade of the A&R Robinson Airport and more airlifts to the island.
That meeting basically set the tone for a very collaborative approach between the Ministry of Tourism and also the Division of Tourism and Transportation. I want to mention that that meeting agreed that there will be collaboration with regards to the airport terminal. Of course, you would note that that has been an issue on the agenda of the Tobago House of Assembly, as well as the Division of Tourism and Transportation for some time. And while the minister might not be directly responsible for the airport, the meeting agreed that he will follow through and to get further information to us with regards to not only the repairs of the airport, but the upgrades and the extension to the facility as well. We also spoke of the issue of airlift for Tobago and, of course, more connectivity to the island of Tobago. There are some flights that are being pursued at this time, with, of course, the intention being to increase tourist arrivals to this particular destination. We spoke of the issue of the hotel assistance program, the investment to facilitate the upgrades to hotels and guest houses, where over 500 million to date would have been approved, but so far the program has not been implemented in a way that the Tobago hoteliers can benefit. And so we spoke to that issue as well as the role of the international representatives with a view to facilitating a proper relationship with the Tobago House of Assembly and also the Division of Tourism and Transportation, because we have been having some issues, some concerns where that is concerned. And of course, we want to ensure that all the representatives out there work hand in hand with the THA as well as with the Division of Tourism and Transportation. And so that meeting agreed that there will be regular meetings, not only with the Chief Secretary, but also with the Secretary and representatives from the Division of Tourism and Transportation, as well as the Minister and the representatives from the Ministry of Tourism, with a view to more collaboration, with a view to more fruitful arrangements, and of course that can only redound to the benefit of the tourism industry and also Tobagonians by extension.
Secretary Davidson Celestine gave an update on the GoGo campaign, along with the division's plans for boosting tourist arrivals from Canada.
From 2010, the Department of Tourism has been pursuing the Tobago GoGo campaign, which has been administered in quite a number of different countries, specifically Scandinavia and the United Kingdom. And that is a program that has been designed to facilitate late winter bookings. And consumers in those markets are offered up to £100 off package holidays to Tobago, with, of course, the condition of a minimum of 7 night stays in Tobago. I want to mention that so far, to date, over 60%, there has been approximately 60% increase in bookings compared to the same period in the previous year. And in 2012, in terms of the Scandinavian statistics, there has been 8 travel agencies participating in the program, and to date, over 141 passengers were booked coming from those Scandinavian countries. Also in 2012, for the United Kingdom, we have over 16 travel agencies participating in that GoGo program, and to date, over 3,153 passengers have been booked to come to Tobago. The Got to Go Tobago Roadshow program, for some time now, the Division of Tourism and Transportation has been looking into the Canadian market. And I can recall late August 2012, there was a collaborative approach between the Division of Community Development and Culture as well as the Division of Tourism and Transportation with a view to promoting the country of Tobago. And so far, the Division of Tourism would have taken over from that approach, and they have gone into, or the intention is to go into the Canadian market with a view to continuing the promotion of Tobago as a destination. And in February, next month, from the 18th to the 23rd of February, there will be a delegation from the division along with different stakeholders and entertainers who will travel to Toronto as well as Ottawa to meet with travel agents and tour operators to promote the destination that we call Tobago. Of course, the benefits might not be felt in the short term, but we expect that in the medium and the long term, there will be increased tourist arrivals to our shores.
The Tourism Secretary spoke about the cruise ship arrivals to the island for this season.
There are approximately 39 cruise ships scheduled to call at the Scarborough port as well as the Charlottesville ports for the 2012 to 2013 season. There are 3 new ships in that arrangement. We have the Masdam, which called on January 28th with over 1,000 passengers. The Quest of Adventure, which called last November. And of course, the World, a luxury residence ship, will arrive early next week. And so we are estimating that by the end of the cruise season, which is in April, Tobago is expected to receive over 35,000 passengers, an increase of over 2,000 visitors from the last tourist season, 2011, 2012. I also want to mention that in terms of the statistics, that there has been a steady increase, though small, in terms of the number of ships scheduled to call at the port over the last 3 tourist seasons. From 2010 to 2011, we had 36 in total. 2011 to 2012, 38. And for this period, there will be approximately 39 cruise ships.
With a new THA administration, Chief Secretary Orville London said that they are looking at ways to deal with the new structure of the THA and strengthen the island's democracy.
We have a situation where there is no minority presence in the House, and that presents a challenge. And we in this administration recognize our responsibility to protect the democracy and to ensure that the process of consultation, the conversation, the dissemination of information, and of course the feedback, that those processes are followed. And if I just want to share with you some of the things that we have done and that we intend to do to give the people of Tobago the assurance that we are doing everything in our power to involve them and to involve their representatives in the process. On Saturday, I would have met with Ms. Dr. Vanessa James of the MDD, and we had a very productive discussion, and some of the recommendations which I'm putting forward would have come about as a result of those discussions. At 10 tomorrow morning, I'm meeting with the leader of the TPT, Mr. Ho-Choi Charles, former Chief Secretary. He will return to the Chief Secretary's office for that meeting at 10 tomorrow morning. And I have requested from him that he should come prepared to give us some indication as to what his vision is for Tobago and what are some of the proposals that he would like to put forward. I've also spoken to the Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to be meeting next week, Tuesday. Again, I have made the same request of them, that it is not just a matter for them to come to listen to me or to listen to what we have to say and then to critique. It has to be participatory, and I think that I'm very heartened by the response that I've got from Dr. James, from Mr. Charles, and from the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. I intend to do the same thing with the churches. Have representation, have a meeting with the churches, community groups, youth groups, and I also intend to have the press involved. In other words, a discussion with the press where the press comes not just to get news, but to really tell us things from their perspective. And coming out of this, and this is one of the things that I discussed with Dr. James, we are hoping to form a group comprising representatives from all these major interest groups. And we will meet with that group on a monthly basis to share information, to get feedback, and of course to formulate ideas and proposals. That's one. Secondly, at our Executive Council, post-Executive Council meeting, we normally have a post-Executive Council meeting where all the secretaries and assistant secretaries meet and discuss. It was agreed that starting in March, we will have our meet the community sessions. And what we're going to be doing is that we will meet in a particular electoral district once a month. And at those meetings, we'll discuss two things. We'll discuss the affairs of that electoral district, but we'll also select at least one topic for special discussion. So for example, if we go to Keenan-Bon-Accord, we will treat with Keenan-Bon-Accord issues. But then we might decide that in Keenan-Bon-Accord, we deal with health and social services. So all those people who are interested in that, even if they're not from Keenan-Bon-Accord, will come from that meeting, and you'll be able to get that particular feedback. So we start that in March, and you'll get more details on that. We're also going to ensure that in our meetings with the at the assembly, and I think we have to meet within a week or so, 15 days from the start, that for the most part they're going to be reporting sessions. In other words, it's difficult to have a debating chamber when you have no opposition or no minority. So we'll take that opportunity to report to the people of Tobago what we are doing, and of course in these early days what we intend to do. And we expect that if the press reports and comments, because I want to just indicate that in this present dispensation, the press has a very critical role to play. The press cannot see itself as just reporting news. What we are in fact doing is that we are challenging the people of Tobago and the institutions of Tobago to involve themselves more critically in the governance of Tobago. And therefore we are trying to nurture an environment in which people and institutions and organizations take a more participatory role.
Mr. London has requested a meeting with the Prime Minister to deal with the issues of Tobago in a professional manner, particularly with the review of the THA Act.
In that context, I'll have written to the Prime Minister. The letter would have gone yesterday, requesting an urgent meeting with her. And I did, in fact, in that correspondence, I did indicate 3 areas that I think needed urgent attention. And as I indicated in the letter, quoting from the Act, the THA Act, that we wanted to discuss issues whose resolution could lead to a more harmonious relationship between Tobago and Trinidad. And among the issues which I put down for the Prime Minister's consideration would have been the issue of the process for the review of the Tobago House of Assembly Act, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that. I also spoke to the funding for housing and the relationship between ministers of government and secretaries of the Tobago House of Assembly. Those are the three issues that I put down for her perusal, because I don't want to put everything. I expect that we'll meet very regularly, so we don't want to discuss everything in this first meeting. With respect to the process for the review of the Tobago House of Assembly Act, my position is that we have an opportunity not to start over, but to take a different approach, taking into consideration all that has gone before and allowing either party an opportunity to continue the process without losing face. And therefore, the recommendation that I am going to put to the Prime Minister is that we have two technical teams, one from the Tobago House of Assembly, one from the central, appointed by the central government, with a chairperson that is who is mutually acceptable. And that the members of those teams will meet together as a unit to study all the submissions, all the processes, and so on. And coming out of that, we will have a document for public discussion. And after that, the document will go to the THA, then to Cabinet, and then to Parliament. I think, we've started off with a premise where all the major players have said, and they're on record as saying, we want the Tobago House of Assembly to have an enhanced position. In other words, they must have internal self-government. So the what is already decided. What we've got to decide is the how. And it's a little bit ironical that, there's so much conflict about the how when we've decided on the what. And as far as I'm concerned, the how is more a technical rather than a political issue. But this discussion took place in a particular political climate. And I'm saying that climate is no longer evident, is no longer relevant. And therefore, now that the climate has changed, I think the posture can change. And in effect, what the Secretary of Tourism spoke about is an indication of that. The Minister of Tourism that we saw, that we met yesterday, is a different minister. And it gives me confidence that within the People's Partnership, there are decent men and women who are prepared to do what they were elected to do, which is to take care of the people's business. But that they have, to a certain extent, been influenced into particular postures because of the election season and all that the election season entails. Because, for example, I would have spoken to the Minister of Finance, asking him, well, how could somebody of your character be involved in holding back money from the people of Tobago for that length of time? And he did indicate to me that, as far as he was concerned, he did his job, which was to release the fund on the 20th of December. The fact that we got the money after election, he indicated was no fault of his. Because the money, the Minister of Finance is a decent man, he's a professional. And therefore he would not, I still am clear that he would not have deliberately, done anything to we starve the people of Tobago funding for that extended period for electioneering purposes. But with all of that, our situation is that there will be no gloating, there will be no recrimination. We are extending an open palm, an open hand to the government of Trinidad and Tobago and to all the ministers. And as President Obama said, we hope we're not met with a clenched fist. And I'm saying that we do have an opportunity as persons entrusted with governance to do exactly that. govern to the benefit of the people of Tobago and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And I am cautiously optimistic that we can, in fact, get over that hurdle, and we can, in fact, develop a relationship or relationships between secretaries and ministers, between the Prime Minister and the Chief Secretary, that will redound to the benefit of Tobago.
Thank you for staying with us for another Tobago House of Assembly Post-Executive Council Media Briefing for the week ending February 2nd, 2013. I am Umudara Mills for the Department of Information.